NFL Network. Nobody.
Two of Denver's defensive leaders, that would be Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware. They'll both need strong efforts today for the Broncos to keep the Colts offense in check. And now McDonald's asks the question, who are you loving this week?
You know, I just looked at where we were.
Touchdown! Seahawks! Breaks 2 tackles and takes it in.
Offensively, we're in pretty good shape. Wanted to add some guys on the defensive side that added a little bit of an attitude.
Intercepted by Talib.
Intercepted to keep Talib. Inside the 10. Touchdown, Denver. DeMarcus Ware's got him, and down he goes.
Pulled down by DeMarcus Ware. Pass in the air and intercepted. Deflected into the hands of Ward.
This is a swarming defense. They play with a different tenor than they did a year ago.
Clearly, Denver's offseason acquisitions have had a major impact on the Broncos' defense, improving across the board in opponents' passing, rushing, and total yards allowed per game this season.
All right, JB, this game just ends in Lambeau Field. What a game it was. How about Aaron Rodgers, 24 35, 317 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So much for that bad calf. It's the arm you got to worry about when you play him, not the calf. Richard Rodgers right there. But how about this play? 4th and 2. Tony Romo aggressive, just like Joe Flacco yesterday, goes for it all. This was ruled a completion to the 1-yard line. Mike McCarthy threw a replay flag. It was overturned. It was an incompletion. Green Bay held on to the ball after that the rest of the way. They now go on the road to the Seattle Seahawks for the NFC Championship game next Sunday. And what a performance by Aaron Rodgers today, who I believe is going to be the MVP of the NFL.
Well, you have a vote there, sir.
Yes, I do.
Aaron Rodgers was dynamic. He wasn't as mobile as he could be, but he was accurate. You know, early in the game, getting sacked, they got pressure to him. It was shaky for a little moment now, but he stepped back, he rallied, and showed why he's the best player in football right now, in my opinion. And you got to give it up to Eddie Lacy and Adams, who stepped up big for him. Look at him right there, Ginger. You know, he come out poised in the pocket. This is a moment where he normally would run in it. That is a dart in between 2 players with the game on the line. That is what big-time players do.
And you know, talk about this guy's heart. You know, this is what happens when big-time players play in big-time games. A Hall of Famer stepping out there, like you said earlier, the offensive lineman has a little bit of trouble protecting him. But him to come out, even though they stepped it up, and give the offensive line a lot of credit going out there and stepping it up in that second half. Well, really more so in the 3rd and 4th quarters.
Absolutely.
But give credit to him with that hurt calf, going out there making plays with his legs. That was still making plays with his legs. Even though it was with his arms, he got out of trouble, delivered that ball with the rocket. Hats off to Aaron Rodgers. Big-time game for him.
And clearly, I think when you look at the Green Bay Packers, the inability, I think, for Aaron Rodgers. And this play right here, when you look at this play, he's got control, but you can see when it hits the ground, the ball moves, obviously created by the ground. He didn't have complete control when he hit it. That's why the play was correctly reversed and obviously just took away the hopes of the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, Coach, I just wonder if Dez Bryant doesn't reach out for the pylon and just completes the catch if he holds on to the ball.
He was going down.
He was good, but he was going aggressive. He wanted to score the touchdown. I get it. I know one thing: the Detroit Lions are happy. Well, I don't know. They don't like the Packers either, so I don't know.
All right, fellas, we now have a special look at the new movie American Sniper from Warner Brothers Pictures, directed by Clint Eastwood, starring Bradley Cooper. And we'd like to thank our friends at Warner Brothers Pictures. American Sniper is now playing in select theaters everywhere this Friday, January 16th.
There's somebody that Andrew Luck will be leaning on today. That's his college roommate, Kobe Fleener. He had an outstanding 3rd season with 51 catches, led all tight ends with 15 points.
Aqib Talib, the shutdown corner from Denver. Look for him to shadow T.Y. Hilton in this game today. Matchup to look for.
It's time now to go inside the huddle, delivered by Domino's. 28 years ago today, our own Phil Simms helped secure the New York Giants' first ever Super Bowl bid with a 17-0 win over Washington in the NFC Championship game. Now, on that very same day in Cleveland, a young Denver quarterback led the Broncos on a memorable 98-yard drive that would help define his Hall of Fame career.
That's a very fond memory, and I think the championship meant so much and you know, got us to our first Super Bowl. So, yeah, there's very, very many fond memories when it comes down to, like, Cleveland that day.
You played in a lot of big games. When were you more nervous? Waiting in the locker room before a big game or sitting up in the box watching the football team play?
You know, I think it was probably more as a player. I think you get used to it as an executive. You know, when I first started, I was really nervous because you have no control. And I think as time goes, goes past that you realize you're never going to have the control once they get between the lines. So I would have to say, as a player, I was more nervous coming out of that locker room.
Did you build the team through the eyes of a quarterback like you were? You see it that way?
I did, but I saw it through the eyes of what I learned late in my career, and that's when I played for Mike and my last 4 years and the success that we had, especially my last 2 years of, having those teams that were able to win world championships. And I think that, putting the team together, number one is what Mr. Bowen would want, and that he wants a world championship. And so that, I'm that way, but it even charges me even more because I'd like to be able to get him a world championship.
The game this week, there's a quarterback playing for the other team. Andrew Luck. I remember when he was coming out, people said, hey, he's the next John Elway.
I knew Andrew when he was at Stanford. Now what he's doing with Indianapolis is tremendous. He's a great player. He's a guy that, you always have to be worried about. And he's going to be around for a long time, and he's going to keep the Colts right in the thick of things at all times.
How about your relationship with Peyton Manning?
As you know, there is, it's a different relationship between all quarterbacks. Just in the fact that because we all kind of think alike, and the fact that because no one else knows what we've been through, no one else knows what it really all goes into playing in that position. So I think there's a camaraderie that's different among quarterbacks than any other position or any other sport. And I think I have that with Peyton.
You watch Peyton play, and you see what's at his disposal in offenses down the NFL. Now look, you're a Hall of Fame quarterback. Do you look out there and go, oh my gosh, I would have liked to try some of this myself when I was playing.
I have thought, I wish I was my general manager when I was playing. Let's put it that way.
There you go. When you guys are in the draft room and all that happens, I've always wondered, are you the final say on these draft picks?
I am, yeah, and I am. So, and final say on the 53, so yeah, and I enjoy that.
It's like being a quarterback again, man. You're the man in charge. You're in the huddle, listen to me.
In charge, but as you know, as a quarterback, everyone else got to be doing their job for you to be successful too, and it's the same thing in the position I'm in now, that get good people around you have a chance to be successful.
Yeah, but you get to give the orders, man. That's what's the best. No, I'm just kidding. But, my last thing is just say when it's all over, when Peyton comes in and says to you, that's it, and you know it's over. If you haven't won a world championship in this span, how would you view that?
I've had several goals in my life that I haven't reached, and I don't consider myself unsuccessful. So as long as we've done everything we possibly could to try to make that work, and as you know, Phil, because you've won one, there's a lot of things that got to fall in place. So, as long as I know that we've done the best that we can do with the things that we can control, then you know what, we'll be satisfied no matter what happens, and we'll continue. If it doesn't work, we'll go back to work when the season's over, and we'll see, where the future goes.
Coach, is it fair to say quarterbacks are divas?
No doubt about it. We got
you guys
one
just
right
don't
here.
understand us. You have no idea what we're all about.
Hey, but Coach did say, there is a defined window of opportunity that John Elway has. He recognizes that, but he's looking at it through the eyes of a player's successful career. Hey, you called an outstanding game last night.
It was unbelievable with Westwood 1 and Iron Eagle. It was just a tremendous game between the Patriots and the Ravens. And I'm going to tell you right now, from a coaching standpoint, Gary Kubiak, Josh McDaniels, their stock went way up. And they had already had good stock, and everybody's looking at them as potential Hall of Fame head coaches. But Bill Belichick once again shows you why I think not only is the best coach in this era, no matter what Don Shula says, he's the best coach ever in the NFL.
There was a play in the third quarter. You're going to see they usually have 5 offensive linemen. Here you see Shane Vereen tells Bill Vunovich, I am now an ineligible receiver. They have 4 linemen. He goes back. He cannot go down as ineligible receivers. Now the defense, you can see, they think he's eligible. They slide this way, opens up for the tight end. A big play right down the middle right there. This leads 2 plays later to a Gronk touchdown right there. Gone back within 7. A huge play right there. Again, they talk about this play. Usually you have 5 offensive linemen. They substituted a running back for a lineman, created a lot of confusion for John Harbaugh. And instead of calling timeout, he let the play go, got a subsequent penalty, which led to that touchdown.
And it was a legal play, and it was the Patriots playing at a advanced, quick level.
Couple of masterful plays for sure. All right, get hyped for halftime. Pepsi brought a halftime show to Milligan, Nebraska and Corpus Christi, Texas. Pepsi now bringing a halftime show to one lucky town on the date of January 18th. See Katy Perry at the Pepsi Super Bowl 49 halftime show. And folks, get hyped for halftime.
All right, how about Julius Thomas? You heard Tony Gonzalez talking about how important he is for Peyton Manning leading into this game. He's healthy. He's ready to rock and roll. 12 TD passes this
season. Talk about important boom. Here's the best corner in the Indianapolis Colts. He could be monitoring Thomas, the other one, Demarius, in this matchup.
The NFL Today is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Domino's. Visit domino's.com. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The Colts, Andrew Luck and Peyton Manning of the Broncos, the two quarterbacks for today's divisional playoff, each looking to lead their respective squads into the AFC Championship matchup against the Patriots.
Well, appreciate what you're about to see, a rare clash of football royalty. Two princes with a great pedigree, their dads were teammates there. You see, these two guys that the Colts selected, Manning and Luck, forever connected. Peyton was a Colt for 14 years, one Super Bowl ring and a whole lot of cheers. But when he had to have surgery, the Colts let go of their four-time MVP. Then they got Andrew Luck. He took the ball and he started the chuck. 86 TDs first 3 years there. Manning had 85, if you care. But did Indy know the guy they let go would move out to Denver and put on a show? 3 division titles, 1 MVP, 131 touchdowns, most in the league. So Andrew Luck is in his prime, but Manning keeps cheating father time, which leads to the question ever since. Did the Colts pick the right prince?
And a big thanks to Penn Holderness, setting the stage for our huge playoff showdown. And folks, it is now time to take a look at the numbers from the IBM Insight Center. Denver's offense, extremely efficient in the red zone at home this season, scoring a touchdown 77% of the time. That's good for second best in the league. On the opposite side, the Colts defense has struggled away from Indy, giving up a touchdown in the red zone, and NFL worst 80% of the time, Coach.
I think you look at on the other side of the ball, the one thing for the Indianapolis Colts is they've been moving the ball, but in the week 1 against this team, they were 2 of 4 in the red zone, and last week against Cincinnati, 1 of 4 in the red zone in terms of scoring touchdowns. It's going to be a big key for them to score touchdowns and not kick field goals in this game. Finish drives.
Hey, you know what I think, guys? Indianapolis has got to be spot on, and Andrew Luck is going to keep it close for a while, I think. He's going to have a brilliant game. I just think it's not his time just yet. I think it's Peyton Manning's time, and I think he'll have a huge game today.
Well, I've been in this spot where you're not supposed to win. So I understand what the Indianapolis Colts are thinking about. They don't fear. Listen, they're playing with house money.
Yeah, I know. I went to the AFC Championship game in 2005 to Denver, and we won as an underdog. I'm picking the Indianapolis Colts. Changing of the guard.
Wow, Coach, I'm going to go opposite, as I always do from you. But I think the Denver Broncos are definitely going to win this game. Like I had a chance to speak with Julius Thomas. He said that ankle is healthy. He's going to be a big factor in this game. I believe it.
Folks, it is game time. The Colts and the Broncos playing for a trip to Foxborough and the AFC Championship game. We'll see you back here at halftime. Enjoy the game.
With the first pick of the draft, the Indianapolis Colts select Peyton Manning.
A few words I want to address to Colts fans everywhere.
Every time that I look in the mirror.
Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I truly have enjoyed being your quarterback. Thank you.
The past is gone.
I'm very excited to begin the next chapter of my playing career for the Denver Broncos. This truly is a special football environment, and I am glad to be a part of it.
With the first pick in the 2012 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts select Andrew Luck.
Put my best foot forward, and if one day I can be mentioned alongside Peyton, it'd be a football dream come true.
Dream on, dream on, dream on, dream on, dream on, dream on, dream
And dream no more, because the matchup is upon us as we take you first on the field, presented by Microsoft Surface here in Denver, as the Colts take on the Broncos, with the winner heading on to New England next Sunday night for the AFC Championship. Hello, friends. Jim Nance along with Phil Simms. What a matchup we have here. So many delicious storylines, if you will. So much cross-pollination here. Look, these two, they've met before, talking about Manning and Luck. Last year in the regular season, the Colts won. This year, week 1, the Broncos won by 7. But this is for the right to move on in the playoffs to the AFC title game.
Well, Jim, I love rematches, and the Colts do too. They think since week 1, 18 weeks ago, they're a much better team on offense and defense. That's why they're confident. For the Denver Broncos, it was a tough end of the year. A lot of injuries. They had to grind out victories. We saw them at practice on Friday after the bye week. A lot of pep in their step. They're ready to go.
Let's get a little deeper here with the quarterbacks. Let's begin first with Indianapolis and Andrew Luck. And what about expectations for Luck today?
Well, Andrew Luck has improved, I think, a lot during the season. Just gotten better at decision making, getting rid of the football. He needs protection so he can move around and make those big plays. And big plays are going to come from T.Y. Hilton, his best receiver, the most dynamic guy they have on the field. I think he'll be matched against Aqib Talib today, and he needs to win some of those matchups.
And everyone is anxious to see what Peyton is going to look like. We know it was a rough December. He was not healthy. Injuries to thighs and both legs. He got the bye week, got a little time off. He looked a whole lot better on Friday when we saw him full of energy and ready to go.
No question, he looked better in practice on Friday. Just watched him warm up today. He was laser sharp throwing the football. So we know that's important always to the Broncos. But on the defensive side, Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, those are two names you need to know. They must pressure Andrew Luck for the Broncos to have a great chance of winning here today.
Today's game is being broadcast in Spanish. We're available using the SAP button on your television.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Peyton throws. Man is there. Touchdown. Lets it fly. Oh, nobody's going to catch him. They're not going to stop him. Terrific grab. There's the pass. Fabulous catch. To the house. Oh, a touchdown.
Can you believe it? About 40 degrees as kickoff approaches here. It'll be Indianapolis receiving the opening kick. Denver defers. Let's go down to the sideline. Tracy Wolfson standing by with Von Miller.
Well, thanks a lot, Jim. Von, as the Colts go, Andrew Luck goes. So what do you guys need to do to affect him today?
We got to rush the passer. We got a great secondary. We got to get after the passer today. If we can do that, we'll be all right.
We'll get ready. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.
All right, Tracy, yeah, he's ready to go. He's going to go grab a helmet because that Denver defense is going to be out there in just a moment. Again, 40 and cloudy, and there is a chance of some snow showers in the second half. Brandon McManus will kick it off for Denver. He handled the place kicking duties for a good chunk of the season, but now is relegated just to the kickoff specialist. And Josh Cribbs, three-time Pro Bowler during his days with the just a 39-yard boot. Peyton Manning in the month of December, he wasn't healthy, but statistically his worst month of his career since the first month of his career, Phil, back in September of '98.
Yes, it's kind of hard to say, but I think the Broncos want to get Peyton Manning off to a good start, getting confident because he's been beat up, he's tired, that lack of production. Even when you're arguably the greatest quarterback ever to play in the NFL, self-doubt can creep in. So I would expect a fast offense all evolving around Peyton Manning.
Well, you talk about quarterbacks, postseason starts. Tom Brady now at 27. Peyton tied second most at 24 with Brett Favre, and then Montana at 23.
Well, you look at this Indianapolis defense, Jim. They're going to gamble some today, I think.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. IBM. Today there's a new way to work, and it's made with IBM. Learn more at IBM.com. And by McDonald's.
The National Western Stock Show Rodeo got started last night here in Denver, and the Broncos lasso an opening drive touchdown, ending in the hands of Demaryius Thomas, who just set the Broncos single season receiving yardage mark, over 1,600 yards, breaking Rod Smith's record, team record. And through his first 4 postseason starts, Andrew Luck has the most passing yardage of any quarterback in postseason history through 4 starts.
Well, how about you see Aaron Rodgers on that screen too, Jim? How about that? Playing really one-legged for most of the game, but seemed like he got loose and played great as it went along.
The world's greatest detectives are back together in New York, and there's never been a better time to get on their case. Johnny Lee Miller is Sherlock Holmes in A New Elementary, Thursday at 10, 9 Central, only CBS. What about the injuries, all the speculation about Peyton, his health in the month of December? We know he had a thigh injury, but of course, as time marched on, we found out he had a thigh injury on each leg.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. And by Verizon XLTE on America's largest, most reliable 4G LTE network.
Cloudy, calm winds, frenzied crowd in Denver. Tuesday on CBS, it's a new year in New Orleans, and the good times are still rolling. Don't miss TV's #1 news show, NCIS New Orleans. New episode Tuesday, 8 Central on America's #1 network.
Well, you know, this is
in Indianapolis driving. Denver leads at 7-0 after 1. We'll return after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS. 73 yards in 9 plays. Ends with Boom Herron in the end zone for the Colts.
You are watching the NFL on CBS.
We take a look at our nationwide sky cam. That Colts drive was set up really by the defense responding after a first play by Denver on the previous drive of 22 yards. All of a sudden they buckled down and got the Broncos offense off the field. Herron ends it with the touchdown, but that shoulder, it looks like it's a problem. And a touchback generated there by Pat McAfee. 2 pass plays to Hilton that went over 20 yards each helped that drive. And Boom Herron has the touchdown. Peyton, this is his 24th postseason game. He's 2nd pass yards to Brady, who overtook him last night with Tom's big performance against the Ravens. He's 206 yards today. They've moved back ahead of him. Most 300-yard performances, 9.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by new Amazon Fire TV Stick, the most powerful streaming stick. Chili's new Lighter Choices Classic Sirloin. Fresh is happening now. And by State Farm. Pump up your savings with a discount double check today.
Another fresh coating up at the ski resorts west of here. 14-7. The Colts lead it. And McAfee handles the kickoff duties. #1 in the league this year in delivering touchbacks in the kickoff game. And he's got another one here. Bolden, no chance to run it out. Well, these two quarterbacks tied together in so many ways. Peyton went to Newman down in New Orleans. Luck to Stratford in Houston. Award-winning career at Tennessee, and for Luck it's Stanford. Both the overall #1 picks. Both started every game of their rookie season. They both wear the jersey number that belonged to their fathers in college. Now we mentioned, how about the dads were teammates for the 1982 Houston Oilers, Archie and Oliver. And then of course this past year they served on the College Football Bowl Committee together for a span. 60 minutes, what you need to know about Obamacare tonight. 60 minutes, only CBS.
Aqib Talib.
Where is this vaunted Denver rush so far?
I think it's the story of the game right now. They are not getting to Andrew Luck, and it's not that they're not getting the sacks. They're not getting close to him. So look at that. He's double hitching, stepping up and following through and finding receivers down the field.
Next Saturday, CBS Sports serves up the Gators and the Bulldogs, and then Big Ten action. The Spartans battle the Terrapins here on the road to the Final Four. CBS Sports.
Colts so aggressive, even that run. They don't expect to run the ball real well here today, but you can see the determination, and the offensive line did a good job of firing out.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Pizza Hut. We're taking pizza where it's never been before. And by Pepsi Hype for Halftime, the official sponsor of the Pepsi Super Bowl 49 halftime show.
Boy, Chuck Pagano during that break was upset there wasn't a penalty on the third down play against the Denver defense, and Ward specifically. Let's bring in Mike Carey. What did you think here, Mike?
Yeah, I think he has something to complain about here. You see the grab of the jersey. Should have had a flag out on that one.
And another 5. Boy, down the stretch, talking about the last 6 weeks of the regular season, he was tops in the league rushing the football. Tied for first total touchdowns. Led in rush touchdowns with 8 over those 6 games. For that, again, the Verizon halftime report is straight ahead with JP and Tony, Bart Boomer, and Coach Cowher. Highlights and analysis, and again a recap of the Packers' victory today that sends them now out to Seattle for the NFC Championship game next Sunday. Here we're waiting to find out who's going to play New England next weekend. To bring us to halftime, and a good halftime, a good half of action it was. Manning trots in 7 out of 18 for 71 yards and a touchdown. Luck throws for 137, a touchdown and a pick, and we're heading down to Tracy Wolfson.
Thanks a lot, Jim. Coach, the interception, but you hold them to just 3. What is your defense doing to keep Peyton Manning and this offense off balance?
You know what? We're having success on early downs. You know, they got a couple runs that have gotten out, but for the most part, our front's done a nice job of stopping the run, getting them in 3rd and long, and giving us a chance to get after them a little bit.
How about the protection that you've been able to get for Andrew Luck?
No, it's been good, and you know, we know he can create, you know, with his feet, and he's making some big plays down the field. We just got to keep it going.
Thanks a lot, Jim.
Well, Dallas led earlier today 14-10 at halftime. Packers came back to win at Lambeau. It's 14-10 Indianapolis in this one. Beating the team, the Broncos, at the moment that did not lose at home all year long. Back with the Verizon halftime report. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
CBS Sports presents the Verizon Halftime Report.
And welcome back to our New York studio and the Verizon Halftime Report. I'm James Brown along with Tony, Coach Bart, and Boomer. Score at the half, 14-10, Indy leading it. Let's go inside the game.
You know, Keith Talib had a rough first half. He was matched up against T.Y. Hilton. You're going to see right here, playing him bump in the slot, gets beat off the line of scrimmage for 20 yards. So he plays him off from the outside technique. You can see right here, and look at the time that Andrew Luck has. And playing from off coverage, it's no better. In cut, 15 yards. Andrew Luck connects with him. And then a crucial play right here, 3rd and goal inside the red zone. Ball's incomplete, but T.Y. Hilton is held by Keith Talib. It will lead to this touchdown pass. He held there, but wasn't called. Touchdown right there in Dwayne Allen. Tough first half for Keith Talib in this game.
Yeah, tough first half for him as well as Peyton Manning and Demaryius Thomas. Now, they got off to a great start. This is Julius Thomas. Tony was talking about him being healthy. You can see right there he is healthy. And a nice touchdown pass by Peyton. And then all of a sudden it started to go awry. You got to worry about the accuracy here. He misses Emmanuel Sanders twice. You'll see Emmanuel Sanders get up here at the end of this and just be completely frustrated because he's obviously beating his cover guy. And then right here, Demaryius Thomas overthrown again, and Demaryius Thomas basically kept an interception from happening.
Yeah, right there, Boom. And if you look at the comparison right there, it's not even close as of right now. Andrew Luck has played an outstanding first half. Give a lot of credit to that offensive line. They picked up where they left off last week. They haven't allowed a sack today. He has not been down. And you got to look at this. If Peyton Manning's going to get back into this game, he's going to have to start out early and come out on fire, because if anybody can do it, it's him.
Well, Peyton doesn't have the fastball today. You see him forcing the ball and trying to push it down the field. He's trying to get the ball out early because he knows he doesn't have the arm strength. They're disrupting it with the bump and run. It's throwing him off. He's going to have to make some adjustments.
Next Sunday on CBS, Tom Brady and the Patriots playing in their 4th consecutive AFC title game. They'll host the winner of today's divisional round between the Colts and the Broncos. A trip to Super Bowl 49 is on the line. And our coverage begins with a special playoff edition of the NFL Today at 6 Eastern. Folks, we'll take a quick timeout. Back with more in a moment.
It starts with 32 teams, but ends with just one. Think you know who's going all the way? Declare your fandom and share your pick for Super Bowl 49. Tweet using hashtag Who's Gonna Win. Then go to who'sgonnawin.com to put your prediction on the map. All brought to you by Verizon, powering fandom with the most powerful network.
All right, so the Green Bay Packers come away with a 5-point win over the Dallas Cowboys. And if it's Dallas involved, there's controversy.
It's a controversy. You know, JB, we have the immaculate reception, we have the catch, we have the drive, and now we have the reversal. This was ruled a catch in the field of play. A replay flag thrown by Mike McCarthy, head coach of the Green Bay Packers. The play was overturned. Listen, the rule stinks. We all hate the rule. We hated the rule when it was the Calvin Johnson rule, and we hate it when it's this rule. But you want to know what? It's the correct call by the official as stated in the rule book, and Des Bryant probably doesn't understand that.
So Dean Blandino, vice president of officiating, that is, for the league, sent out this tweet about the call, quote, Bryant going to the ground. By rule, he must hold on to it throughout the entire process of contacting the ground. He did not, so it is incomplete. And here's Cowboys coach Jason Garrett after the game.
Yeah, clearly they didn't see it the way I saw it. And, apparently the ruling that he said, they said it wasn't a move common to the game, which was surprising to me.
Everybody knows the Calvin Johnson rule. You know, I remember watching the film of that game and saying, how in the heck is that not a catch? But, it's been a few years now since then, and you have to control the ball all the way to the ground. So when I saw the replay, I was confident right away it would be an incomplete pass.
So the NFC matchup is set next week for the championship. It'll be Green Bay taking on Seattle. Coach, your thoughts about it?
Well, I mean, I think the bottom line, as Boom said, what the rule is, as you talk about the rule, as you're going to the ground, if the ball touches the ground and it moves, it is deemed an incomplete pass. The ball has to not move. You have to say that you have control, it can't touch the ground. The ball moved, it was the correct call.
It is the correct call, but it's not a good call at all. Somebody who catches the ball for a living for a long time, that is an absolute rule that needs to go.
Poetic justice. Jim Caldwell didn't see it that way last week either.
By the way, where did Aaron Rodgers get that sweater from?
The Verizon halftime report. We'll get you back to the game.
I want to pump you up.
CBS Sports presents the Verizon Halftime Report. Download NFL Mobile exclusively from Verizon.
AFC Divisional being led at the moment by Indianapolis 14-10. Let's take a look at big returns in the first half presented by H&R Block. The Andrew Luck touchdown pass to Dwayne Allen. And Omar Bolden like to get a chance to run one back. His last two games of the regular season, he had returns of 76 and 77 yards. But McAfee doesn't allow many returns all season long. And not one here. All right, so the Broncos deferred. They get the football here. Will we see a different Peyton in this second half? His passing total yardage in the first half, 71 yards. That's the second fewest in a first half in his Denver career.
He's not getting any easy throws. That's one thing. They're taking away the screen game by and large, the Colts defense. But Peyton Manning, who I think is one of the best long throwers down the field.
And he's dumped after one. Anderson rushed for 66 yards in that first half. In the first game, week 1, well, Peyton staked the Broncos to a 24-7 lead at the intermission. And in that game, he had 199 by halftime, including 3 touchdown tosses to Julius Thomas. So,
well, thanks. I had a chance to speak with John Fox, and of course I asked right away about the offense and Peyton Manning, and he said they just need to settle down and they need to get a rhythm going. He said they definitely made adjustments in the locker room, but of course would not reveal those adjustments. He said as for the defense, they need to get a pass rush going, and he said as for the matchup between Aqib Talib and T.Y. Hilton, he wouldn't say if he would take him off it, but he did say they needed to clean things up. Jim?
Okay. Here are the first half stats. Indianapolis put up 201 total yards. 64 coming on the ground. Aaron had 43 on the ground and a touchdown to go with 6 catches. But the rest of the league they went 12-1 against. Of course, playing in the AFC South, they won that division, and there is some weakness at the bottom of that division, and they won all 6. They ran the tables on the South. Luck now with 210 yards. He's already now set the pace for the most passing yards by any quarterback in NFL postseason history through 5 starts, through the first 5 starts.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Old Spice Body Spray is the sentence I was paid to say into a microphone. And by the award-winning 2015 Honda CR-V for wherever your next journey takes you.
A lot of surprise folks here in Colorado's capital city of Denver, as Indianapolis was down 7 at the start of this game, and ever since then the Colts have dictated. 21-3 stretch since then.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Bill Levy's taking a long look at this one, because interesting scenario. Was Cribbs down? Was a knee down before the ball came out? Or do you treat it like a receiver who has to take the football all the way to the ground? Well, again, the AFC playoff picture. New England in the thriller over Baltimore, twice coming back from 14-point deficits, will be the host next week against the winner of this one. That game will be preceded by the NFC Championship game on Fox. Green Bay and Seattle next Sunday. Up. Well, the Broncos today, first drive touchdown, and since that time, only a field goal just before the half. Boy, Redding had him about 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Anderson runs 13 yards after that initial contact, and it's a first down for Denver at the end of the 3rd quarter. Jim Nance, Sims, along with Tracy Wolfson and Mike Carey. We start the 4th quarter. You've got a lot of ground to make up if you're the Broncos, but C.J. Anderson just made perhaps a season-saving run for a first down on 4th and 1 that appeared to be headed toward a change of possession and a loss of about 5.
You are watching the NFL on CBS.
.50 to go. Luck and Manning dueling here. The winner to face Tom Brady and the Patriots next week for the AFC Championship. Divisional weekend. Back and forth they went. How about Julian Edelman? How many ways can he beat you? Yesterday throwing the touchdown pass to Amendola, who had a huge game too. And of course Brady start again. Seahawks will host next week the NFC title game. And then the Packers rally past the Cowboys, who have to be heartbroken. They thought Des Bryant had come up with the catch that might take them to Seattle next week. Was later overturned and ruled incomplete.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Domino's. Visit Domino's.com. Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side. And by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram.
Back in Denver, where the AFC South champions are leading the AFC West winners 21-13. Pass thrown in the direction of Sanders. Well, the Pro Bowl's coming up January 25th. You can see the Pro Bowl draft on Wednesday, January 21st. Go to NFL.com/Pro Bowl to learn more.
That was some play by Vontae Davis.
Let's go down to Tracy.
Well, thanks, Jim. Chuck Pagano told us it is always special coming back to Denver. He grew up in Boulder. He played at Fairview High School where his father, Sam, coached. And he grew up rooting for the Broncos. Actually, Sam Pagano attended the first tryout camp the Broncos had in 1960. He tried out as a kicker but was cut before the preseason game. Sam is down here today. He said it's very emotional watching his son coach the Colts against the Broncos. Jim?
Thank you. He told us you'll see Dad on the sideline with that stogie getting the workout. He wasn't tipping second and 4. Tipton has the first down as he falls forward for 5. Well, Tracy mentioned the state championship that Chuck helped bring to Fairview High School back in 1978. And let's not overlook his brother John,
yes,
the fine defensive coordinator at San Diego, who has often come up with big game plans against Peyton Manning.
He has. I'm sure that Chuck called his brother John out in San Diego and picked his brain a little, but Greg Minuski, Chuck Pagano, they're pretty good at coaching defense themselves.
Now we move inside of 9 minutes. Again, the winner heads to Gillette Stadium, as Bill Belichick and the Patriots will be playing in the AFC Championship game for the 4th consecutive year.
You have to be thinking this if you're the Indianapolis Colts right now. I know there's a lot of time to go, 8:40, but you're up 8 points. A field goal puts you up 11.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by American Sniper from Warner Brothers Pictures, now playing in select theaters everywhere January 16th. And by Subway Restaurants. Try new grilled chicken strips at Subway. Subway, eat fresh.
Coming up, the Subway postgame show with JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cowher. Highlights and analysis of this game and a look ahead to Conference Championship weekend coming up on the Subway postgame show. And if Denver does not win this game, it's going to spawn now all kinds of speculation about what is the future, not only for the Broncos franchise, but specifically, people are going to be wondering about Peyton Manning.
Well, yeah, rightly so. He's been in the league so long, and just think of this year, Jim. What you know, when you think about coming back to play another year, it's a long process. The offseason, training camp, and think about this year. Got hurt. It was tough for this team down the stretch. They found a way to get in this position.
So 4th down coming up tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, followed by new episodes of Madam Secretary and The Good Wife, only CBS. Again, coming up, the Subway post-game show. James Brown and the crew will be back in New York. They'll have their take on this divisional game and looking ahead to next weekend's conference championship action on the Subway post-game show. 2 minutes to go. Punting situation for Indianapolis. And the game is over. The Colts have advanced to the AFC Championship game. It's going to be Andrew Luck against Tom Brady next Sunday at Gillette Stadium.
Well, you have to wonder, is this the last time we'll see Peyton Manning on the field? We're going to hear that question a lot here in the coming days. If it is, it's been one tremendously great ride, that's for sure.
Chuck Pagano's looking around, trying to find Peyton. He got there. It was second half of the season for Denver. We saw him up at New England early November. And shortly after that, there was a loss to St. Louis, and there was a change of philosophy. And then Peyton battled sickness in San Diego, thigh injury there. Then we later discovered there was a thigh issue on the other leg. And the second half of the year, this wasn't the same football team.
It was not the same on the offensive side. They tried to change, but quite honestly, coming in today's game, I thought we were going to see old offense. It didn't happen. But again, I'm giving the credit to the Colts, what they did. Their defensive front and their defensive backs were incredible.
Andrew Luck will be taking on New England next Sunday. They met on November the 16th in Indianapolis, and that's the game you'll recall where Jonas Gray broke loose for 199 yards and 4 touchdowns for the Patriots in a 42-20 victory. The Broncos, the AFC champions a year ago, eliminated this year in the divisional round, as Indianapolis is the only road team winner this weekend. We'll join James Brown in New York in just a moment. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.